You ever been blacklisted on something before? I know Heather has. I know I have. So we are going to tell you what a whitelist is, and we're going to be answering some other questions from y'all, including our special guest who answers about taxes. Them pesky ass taxes. Here we go.
You guys have no idea how hard it is when we're doing our intros not to respond to the other person. What do you mean I've been blacklisted? What's that supposed to mean, Rich?
At the club.
Your judgment.
At the club. You always get blacklisted at the club.
You know Heather's going to the club. That is the last place on earth you would ever find
Heather's
me. But you did
always
say
twerking,
y'all.
never working. I mean, always
Listen,
working, never twerking. I had it the wrong way.
Listen, we are going to answer some of your questions. We love you guys so much. Thanks for walking this crazy newbie journey with us. If you are new around here, you got it right. NFTs for newbies. We are learning this game alongside of you. And some of you have sent some phenomenal questions over to our email and in our Discord. Hint, hint. Side note. Are you connected with us there? Check out the show notes or down below if you're watching on YouTube and meet us, get to know us. And hopefully we can answer some of your questions in an episode like this. But Rich, what's our first one?
Our first question is from our Discord, and we have a questions for the newbies, which is, it's like ironic just saying that. But anyway, this is from Beauty by Diane. She says here, what does floor price mean? And then OpenSea, and what does traded mean? So it's kind of an assembly of questions. And when the sale ends, does that mean the item is gone forever? So I will tackle a couple of these. OpenSea is a secondary marketplace, just like Rarity, not Nifty Gateway. I think Rarity. There's a lot of secondary markets, meaning if I didn't buy directly from the NFT project itself, which you could like go to their website and mint if you know about that, then you go to secondary market. OpenSea is by far the most popular. They're now doing billions per month in NFT sales, so they're kind of the standard, right?
It's kind of like a thrift store for NFTs.
Literally.
It's been previously owned.
Totally, except it doesn't have those freaking those underwear streaks. You ever buy underwear at a thrift store before?
I do when I go to the club.
Oh man, always working, never twerking. All right, here we go. So, so traded means Heather and I have agreed that she's gonna hook me up with her gift goat. VFriend NFT, and I'm going to give her 3 of mine or something like that. A trade is no smart contract involved. It will be recorded in the blockchain that there was a transfer, but it does not mean in any way, shape, or form that anyone's like kind of like looking over and going to make sure that we keep to these terms. It's between us. So there's totally a risk. I would only trade ever if you absolutely and implicitly trusted the person, or maybe you did some sort of weird financial exchange before that. Those are those two.
Can you imagine doing like the countdown, like on the count of 3, we're both going to hit send?
Same time, man. Same time. I don't know you, man. Like that. It's literally that. So floor price is you. And then what happens when a sale ends? Does that mean the item is gone forever?
Okay, floor price. I really encourage you guys to check out our lingo episode. It's linked up in our podcast and right here if you're watching on YouTube, where we cover floor price and a whole bunch of other terms. But real quickly, floor price is the lowest cost essentially of you getting into a project. So right now, if I go to Walmart and Cheetos are on sale for $2.50, they normally $3, but they're on sale for $2.50. The floor price of those Cheetos are $2.50. So what is the cheapest price that you can get it? It's like an entryway, right? A gate to get into the project, the lowest amount. So when people talk about the floor price, that's what they're saying. And so a lot of times, like mentioned in our lingo episode, people use this as an initiative to get in on our projects. So like, our floor price is only this. And so they're saying essentially, this is some cheap stuff and you need to go ahead and get in before it goes up high.
Can you give the eBay analogy? Because it's the lowest buy now price, just to be slightly more specific.
Of bidding?
No, so it's like eBay, you know, you have the buy now. Mm-hmm. So that's what the floor price, it's the lowest buy now price.
Oh, yeah, that's an important distinction.
Yeah, I just want to.
You just did it. Great job.
Thank you. What about when something's on sale? Is it gone forever? Like, you ever seen the movie Fear? Nicole Forever?
No.
Oh,
what is
right.
these
I forgot
crazy ass movies?
I forgot to never ask you about movies again. If when something is sold, is it gone forever, Heather?
Is it gone forever? No. I mean, people can resell things. People can trade things, like you said. I mean, the item, correct me if I'm wrong, Rich, the item, and it exists on the blockchain, it's that tattoo that you got on your butt after you went to the club. I mean, like, it is there forever. Now, it will keep record of who's owned it, but I mean, there may be some that have it in their smart contract, how many times it can be sold or traded. I'm sure that there's some perimeters like that. But I think for the most part, if something's sold, it just means that that person bought that collectible, but they can resell it.
I agree. I have nothing to add to that. So there's round one. That's from our Discord. Question number 2 is from Joel Casanova. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
What is a whitelist or whitelisting? And let's get into it. So I will read what it says, but I will give it in my own terms as well. Whitelist is
So he'll read it the right way and then he'll tell you the wrong way after.
Well, like I said in the beginning, you know what it's like when you get blacklisted, right? Heather knows. So it's like, it means you're not allowed. So whitelisting means you are allowed. And in most cases, what it means, and I will give my definition first before reading then, is that you have front of the line privileges, VIP access essentially. So just the other day, Deadheads had a Skull Troopers minting. If you owned 2 Deadheads, then you were going to get a free mint and you were going to get early access to minting at a very specific price before it was on sale on the public. So that essentially, I was whitelisted. I was kind of moved to the front of the line. And I know out of the 10,000 NFTs that were going to be minted, I was going to have a couple in the top 500 probably, which is always a good thing to have. Now, if I read it, it says whitelists are a list of names or wallet addresses collected that allow certain community members to be guaranteed a spot for minting a new NFT collection. So obviously, it's not just literally about minting. It might be whitelisted for party on a yacht that, you know, the Basefish Mafia are throwing in Miami, which I think they did something like that, you know, so
we're kind of jelly base fish.
Yeah, there you go. So it's essentially front of the line privileges, and that is it.
Yeah, I mean, there's also too a lot of projects that it's not just a front of line privilege. It's like unless you're on the whitelist, you won't be able to buy. And so there's some extreme things like that just because of, you know, how many they have to offer and so forth. So get on the whitelist. Don't be on the blacklist. Listen, y'all. Email question. I love this is super.
I will actually pull it up.
Super great question. I have it right here. This comes from Katie Peed. She says, hey, major question. If ETH and the blockchain is not involved with the government, it's decentralized, then why would we pay taxes on our gains? Making no sense over here. Please explain. And you know what we responded to Katie? We said, it doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Does it to you, Rich?
My first thought was like, yeah. And then it was, we got to call Brad.
We call Brad. So Brad, we had on this show several episodes back. We'll make sure it's linked up in the show notes where we dove into taxes and NFTs. And before you start crossing your eyes and be like, I don't want me to talk about no taxes. Listen, we're trying to keep your butts out of jail because we love you. So Brad sent in this clip to answer Katie's question.
Hey, this is Brad Barrett from ChooseFI, and Rich and Heather sent me over a tax question that they received in an email. So this is a really good question, and it was a bit disarming, but it's ultimately just the fundamental starting point is the premise that we need to get straight, which is, are you a U.S. citizen? And I'm assuming that this, based on the wording here, the federal government, we're talking about the United States federal government. Are you a U.S. citizen? If so, then your income and your capital gains are taxable. Really, pretty much plain and simple. We can BS something like, hey, you're on Mars. Hey, you're underwater when you earn the money. Hey, it's on a blockchain. But ultimately, unless the income is specifically excluded by law, in which there are some non-taxable income we can get into, I mean, that's way beyond the scope of this. Obviously, you get some exemptions, exclusions if you live abroad, etc., but it's minor. But within reason, are you a U.S. citizen? If so, all your income and all your gains are taxable. Okay? So it doesn't really need to go all that much more in depth than just that. So as always, the onus is on the taxpayer to fairly report their income and gains. So all of us have a right to lower our taxes as much as possible under the law, but we do not have the right to evade taxes illegally. So I would highly, highly, highly suggest paying income tax on all of your income and all of your gains. Okay. So as always, there's personal discretion over specific thing. I mean, I can't even get into that. It's just, did you earn income? Did you have capital gains? If so, you need to report it on your tax return. That's pretty much what we're dealing with here. So you're a U.S. citizen, you have to report your income. So anyway, hope that was helpful. And yeah, I'm happy to keep answering any kind of tax questions that the community has. Thanks.
Hey everyone, so hopefully you listen to Brad so that way you don't end up in jail or in jail in the metaverse, which is way worse because then you're going to be sharing a cell with Heather. So then, because you were twerking at the club. That's the theme for today. So
are you stuck on
So look, the lingo we covered a couple things lingo wise. We have an episode for that, but Heather, I think we covered like 5 maybe in that episode.
Yeah.
We actually made a PDF that has 40 terms that you need to know. DM us at NFTs for Newbies. You can email us at nftsfornewbies@gmail.com and we will get you that PDF. So that way you have it, you can study it, and then you can hit us up with more questions in all the places we like to answer questions, just like today. Peace.